Do not take your RV into Canada without watching this first. The United States and Canada seem pretty similar, but they have different food, different currency, and different rules.
They don't like that in Canada.
Our membership card did not work in Canada. We're Kaylin and Joseph, and we recently spent the summer exploring Alaska with our rescue pup Trinity and rabbit Cody. Before and after our trip, we drove in and around Canada for about 7 weeks to see what RV life is really like up here. From boondocking opportunities to fluctuating diesel prices, we pit country against country in 11 key areas so that you know what to expect when you cross the border in your rig. But first, we need to catch you up on where we've been, what our peanut butter stash looks like, and why we went through 17 bags of chocolate chips in 3 months. This video is brought to you in partnership with eTrailer. The last time you saw us, we were at the end of the Cassiar Highway, and we have made a lot of progress since then. So we had 2 back-to-back travel days.
Long
They
travel
were so
days.
long, but we added 780 miles to our mileage tracker. So that brings us up to, let me check, 1,840 miles of the, 4,900 something that we have left to do.
We're making progress.
So a couple like fun things that we did along the way. We stopped by the Ancient Forest, which was recommended to us as like a hidden gem by a Canadian subscriber. And it was a great place to just stop and stretch our legs. Trinity loved getting out and seeing it. And then we had a little scary situation where we were going through really intense wildfire smoke. We didn't see any flames.
And we didn't expect it. Like
No,
we're driving, all of a sudden
it was
it's
out
like
of
smoke.
nowhere.
It's like, where did this come from?
And our eyes started watering and throat started hurting.
Turns out it was a fire decently far south of us, but the wind was pushing all the smoke north. We thought it might be remnants of Jasper, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. By the time we got to Jasper, we didn't see any smoke, but we did see what the wildfires had done with Jasper, which is just so heartbreaking because that's one of the spots we really wanted to stop on our way out of Alaska. So that's still on our bucket list. We'll still have to go see Jasper at some point. But where we are now, we are in Onaway, Alberta, and it's right outside of the city of Edmonton. It's Ruth Cust Park. Free boondocking, wide grassy area.
Amazing.
It's been a really nice spot.
And the best part, we'll tell you about in a little bit. But where we are is not the most major news. Y'all have been waiting for this. This is jar number 10 of peanut butter, and we're not just like opening the jar. Today is the day you're witnessing it. That stockpile that we got in Idaho before our trip is now complete. And we're gonna show you exactly why and how a family of 2 goes through 10 jars of peanut butter and I have no idea how many bags of chocolate chips in just a few months.
Consider yourselves lucky today because we are sharing our top secret apple nacho recipe. Why are you laughing?
Top secret.
But we said this was one of the reasons why we went through 17 bags of chocolate chips, by the way, that we ran out of. We stockpiled them for Alaska because we knew they'd be more expensive in Alaska. And then we ran out halfway through the summer due to this amazing snack. So tell us what we've got. I mean, you are arranging them very, very nicely here.
I was gonna say, this is the first most important step is you have to arrange them in a charcuterie fashion on some sort of a plate. Then you're going to warm up your peanut butter. You're gonna heat it up, get it nice and liquefied, and drizzle artistically.
Yes, get the drizzle just right.
But try to make sure you get some peanut butter on all of the apple slices. The fancier it looks, the better it's gonna taste. Now, some people are happy just to have it with peanut butter, but then I married somebody who's like, it must have chocolate. And I'm not gonna complain. You can add chocolate. You can add chocolate to almost anything. So then you just take the chocolate chips and sprinkle them, generously. I'm gonna say generously today because that came out faster than I expected, over your apple nachos. And there you go.
That's a pretty good amount right there.
That's it. Apple nachos. You got it right there.
Don't mind if I do. Losing my chocolate chips. You outdid yourself.
It's great. You can't leave this guy out, although he's sleeping. Hey, Coates. You gonna come out? There you go. It's apple nacho time. You are shedding, buddy. You wanna go?
He's going to the magic cabinet.
Come on, up on the couch. couch. Good girl. Sit. Sit. Yes.
Come on. Now, the first topic we want to talk about in terms of the differences or maybe similarities between RV life in the United States versus RV life in Canada is boondocking. I didn't really know what to expect, if there were going to be a lot of spots.
I honestly thought it was going to be harder to find boondocking, and it really hasn't.
I would say around touristy spots.
Yes.
Like Banff was really, we couldn't find boondocking around Banff, although we did find boondocking, we just had to pay for it at a local
But
ranch.
I feel like that's similar to the US, because when you're outside Yellowstone, when you're outside Big Bend, like the boondocking suddenly becomes harder to find unless you have a smaller rig. A lot of times smaller rigs, you can get more places easier. But here it's been great. We're in this beautiful spot. It's actually a city park, and we were kind of like, are we allowed here? Are we not? Kaylin called the number because it said on the website you can park your RV there for the weekend, and they said, yep, you're all fine, you can stay there. So
yeah, it's been very nice. I found this park on iOverlander, and that's how I'm finding most of the boondocking spots in Canada, even sometimes like the pull-offs on the side of the road that a big rig could fit in. Used to love Campendium, but that app has just really gone downhill and is not usable anymore. So iOverlander has come through for us in Canada.
And as far as paid campgrounds are concerned, it is very comparable to the US. I would say the prices are comparable once you make for the exchange rate and everything. But of course, like anywhere, you get to a touristy area, it's gonna be more expensive, and you're gonna have to book further in advance.
Trinity, you hear more dogs? You wanna go to the dog park?
Ready, ready?
Probably our favorite thing about this spot.
Our favorite thing or Trinity's favorite thing?
Trinity's favorite thing is the big, like, I mean, huge off-leash dog park that she gets to play in multiple times a day. Like, our RV is literally up there, over the hill. We just walk down.
And she gets entertainment every day because whenever any other dog is here, she's instantly
always watching
up in the window.
Yes. Don't show your butt to the camera.
I was gonna say, that's a great angle.
And no, come this way. So in terms of like dog friendliness, when it comes to like where you can take your dog places, I'm sorry Americans, but I feel like Canada has got it right. I don't know that we've ever been in a spot where really a dog can't go in, and we were totally expecting at the national parks, like Banff National Park, that we could not take our dog because that's just the standard in the US national parks. But nope, they're super dog friendly. You can take them anywhere. Like all the trails are dog friendly. This big off-leash dog park, we've been to so many great dog parks in Canada. So Canada, I love their dogs.
And it's not just that the municipalities are dog friendly, it's that the people clean up after their dogs. Like all these dog parks, we did find like one little poop bomb off to the side that we picked up, but otherwise this dog park you could sit down and have a picnic in because everybody is cleaning up after their animals, and that's what we found on all the trails as well. Everything seems to be super clean, even though it's super dog friendly. Who'd have thunk it? Good girl. Did you have fun? Did you have fun in the dog park?
In 2 days, we're gonna cross the border into the States, and we've got a lot of prep work to do before then, including going and running some last minute errands. You're gonna join us for those. But first, I don't know if you heard, there were new dog import rules starting August 1st, 2024, of taking your dog from Canada into the United States, where obviously they have to have a rabies vaccination, which she does, but you do have to fill out an extra form to basically just say that she has that certification. So hopefully it's not gonna be too hard. I'm gonna try to figure this out so we can just get it done and crossed off the list. Basically, I just Googled dog import form from Canada to the US, ended up on the cdc.gov website, and there's a link to a form. So that looks really easy. Let's hope it's not too much to fill out. Oh, animal name, Trinity. I'm filling out a form for you. Has the dog been in a country that's considered a high-risk country for dogs' rabies in the last 6 months? I don't know. High-risk countries. Canada is not one of them. All right, we are good. Age 2 years old, at least that's what they told us. Importation purpose. This is a personal pet, includes emotional support animals.
I mean, she supports my
definitely
emotions.
Supports our emotional health. Legal signature. Can I sign for you? I didn't hear.
Yes,
acceptance.
Sorry, you can sign for me. I thought I was gonna be signing a piece of paper.
No, I just type it in here.
Since when have signatures become a keyboard stroke?
Tell me you were born in the early 80s.
Legal signature.
There you go.
That is the most legible my signature has ever been.
Submit. Success. Next steps. You should receive an email in the next 15 minutes. Who takes 15 minutes to send something?
If anybody's gonna take 15 minutes to send something, it's the US government. Refresh, refresh. Hey!
We got it?
It only took them 2 minutes.
You were keeping track?
I was. So it's 2:58, we got it at 3 o'clock.
Nice. Forward it to me before you forget.
All right, Trin, you're all set to go back to the US with us. We're not leaving you in Canada. Did you get the fly? Did you get it? It's errand time. All right, think we can do this in like under 2 hours?
No.
That's a wise
Errands
answer.
always take longer.
Always. Sorry, I'm taking up your cup holder.
Yep.
As always.
Per usual.
Township Road left. Probably where this way I should turn it.
We don't have too many places to go this afternoon, but we do need to go to the grocery store to get more of these.
More Canadian snacks.
And more Canadian snacks. We're gonna do another snack segment.
In this video.
In this video.
Stay tuned.
Yep. We gotta do laundry to use up the last bit of Canadian cash that we have. And then fuel and propane.
Yep.
That's it, right?
That's pretty quick. It seems like we should be able to do that in 2 hours, but we're not gonna.
When it comes to the cost of groceries and everyday things, the prices are really comparable between the US and Canada. Now, of course, when you go in and pick something off the shelf, it's going to be higher in Canadian dollars, but the exchange rate is about 30%. And if you need to figure it out, you can download a currency calculator or converter, and that'll help you figure out what the price is from Canadian dollars to US dollars. But when you do that, the prices really are comparable. There's not much of a difference between the two, unless of course you go into like more rural areas where the prices are higher, but actually that's really the same in the United States too. We're closer to cities, it's a lot less expensive.
And so far in Canada, we have yet to find $11 Oreos. That we found in the United States. Granted, in a town that you had to fly to get to, but.
Yes, it was King Salmon, if you're curious. If you ever have a craving for Oreos when you're in King Salmon, it's not a good time. Stores are pretty much the same up here. You do have Walmart, so basically all Walmarts are pretty similar between the US and Canada. You've got different kinds of grocery stores, but you also have a Safeway, which this is an interesting thing. Our membership card from a US Safeway did not work in Canada. So they must be on two separate systems because like our phone number did not work to get the member rewards. You also have Canadian Superstore, which is like similar to a Walmart. You have Canadian Tire, which has more sporting goods, automotive stuff. We did do tire like fixing there and get tires. It's more likely, I would guess, say similar to like a Menards or a Fleet Farm. And then you'll see in plazas like Old Navy and Best Buy and things like that. So it's very like a mix of stores that you would see in the United States, but also some new ones, which is just kind of fun to go explore anyway. We asked our community on YouTube, and if you haven't checked out the community page, go ahead and do that. You can do it on mobile device, desktop device, just not on TV, unfortunately. And we asked people for Canadian snack ideas that we haven't tried yet, and I have a whole list. So we're gonna see if we can find these in the Dollarama, which is basically the Canadian version of Dollar Tree.
Any snacks? Hey, Maynard's was on people's list.
It was?
Maynard's wine gums, butter tarts.
It's the wine gum.
Wine gum.
Not the Swedish berries. But someone did mention rockets.
All right, coffee crisp. I'm getting this against my better judgment because I don't like anything coffee. Kaylin doesn't like anything coffee, but I have been like assured by several people that these don't taste like coffee. I don't believe you, but I'll try it.
Oh, these are just giving me a sugar headache just looking at them. The pumpkins.
Yeah.
And
I used to like them. Now they make me sick.
Oh, now they give me headaches, yeah.
I haven't found wine gums, but you got bourbon cookies. Found them.
The wine gum?
We got the wine gums.
So it's not actually gum?
It's gummy, like they're gums. So I think it's like chewable. Includes no wine. Talk about the most misnamed thing, wine gums. Now I'm whining about my wine gums. So we've got 7 items so far. The one that's not in the basket is Lay's ketchup chips, which incidentally is the whole reason we're doing this is because we did a segment of trying Canadian snacks and we tried ketchup crispers, which we were informed over and over and over again that those don't count as ketchup chips. So we got the Lay's ketchup chips. and we're gonna try these too. $6. Hopefully that's enough. One of the biggest challenges when you are traveling, I almost said overseas, in a different country, is figuring out exactly how much cash you need to bring. And some people are gonna be like, you need to get like $1,000. We actually have only probably gone through a couple hundred, and most of it's been on laundry. Speaking of laundromats, one of the things that Canadian laundromats have over the US laundromats is that they take dollar coins. So you don't have to put in for, 3 less coins for every dollar when you're feeding the washing machines. This one even takes the toonies, so you could even do fewer coins.
Why do they all have names?
I was gonna do this in the laundromat, but it's pretty crammed in there, and I felt a little conspicuous. I paid as much as $8 US for a medium-sized washer and as little as 3. So I'm gonna say these are pretty comparable because the prices of laundromats are just all over the map anyway.
And now we wait. One of the biggest mistakes that we made was exchanging our currency after we crossed the Canadian border.
Yeah, we got to Calgary and I walked through Canmore. I went to 3 different banks. The first 2 banks were like, nope, we're not gonna exchange it because you don't have an account here. Third bank was like, yeah, we're happy to exchange it, but we're gonna charge you a $10 fee and we're gonna give you a worse exchange rate than the actual exchange rate.
And if we'd only known that we didn't really need to use a lot of cash,
right,
I don't think we would have exchanged as much as we exchanged. So if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely work with a local bank before we cross the border to order money.
Yep.
And I think you get a better exchange rate that way than waiting.
But if you're not using cash, you still need to be aware of your credit cards.
Yes.
Because that was another mistake
Another
we
mistake
made.
is we didn't look to check and see if there were foreign transaction fees on our credit cards. So we rotate between like 3 different credit cards depending on like the different categories of rewards that we would receive. And so there was one that we were using for some bigger purchases, like our outdoor chairs, some $100 fuel purchases. And then I went and looked online.
And we were getting socked.
Yes. So thankfully our other credit cards were fine. They didn't have any fees, but just something to be aware of because I never checked.
All right, we got 30 minutes while we're waiting for the dryer. Do we want to go get propane and gas while we're waiting or sit here? Well, don't let the sign here fool you. It's not $1.48 a gallon, it's $1.48 a liter, and unfortunately there's 3.78 something liters in a gallon. So the price here is actually the one expense in Canada that is most definitely more expensive than the US. The challenge of figuring out the price per gallon is that you're doing 2 conversions. You're trying to convert Canadian coin to US dollar, and you're trying to convert the liters to gallons. So we actually use a website.
The actual website is usgas.ca, and so I'm gonna put in here 1.48 liter, press the button, and it's $4.12 a gallon. So still a little bit pricier than we like to pay, but it's a lot better here in Alberta than we were paying in the Yukon territories in BC, because that was over, I think, $2 a liter, even up to where like $2.50, $2.60 a liter.
So this is kind of a small thing, but important. If you have a diesel truck and you're going to Canada, the color of the diesel pumps is not green in Canada. It's often yellow. In fact, at some stations, the regular fuel is a green pump. So if you are getting your fuel based on the handle of the pump, you got to unlearn that before you go to Canada because it's going to be a different color.
This one is black, so you're good. But sometimes, most of the time, they're green. Whew. That windshield got dirty trying to show all the propane.
Here. Let me just, there it is. As far as price is concerned, propane is very comparable to the US. This was 33 Canadian dollars to get a 30-pounder full, which is actually pretty good from my experience. One thing you have to be aware of that caught us off guard is we have some older tanks that have been recertified in the US, and the US uses stickers that have a certification number, but then people like marker on the date. And they don't like that in Canada. I've had trouble getting some of my propane tanks filled because they'll look at the certification, they're like, that's just a sticker with a marker on it. Anybody can do that. So if you have older tanks that have been recertified, you might want to check. And if they don't have something stamped on them, if the recertification is a sticker, you might have trouble in Canada. Good morning. It is a big day for us. It is our last full day in Canada. We're headed to Saskatoon, which is in Saskatchewan, which is another province that we have not been to. We're going to be glamping it up in a Walmart. We've just got a few things that we've got to tear down. First up, or last up, I guess, on the list, Starlink. Let's talk about Starlink in Canada. It works awesome. Like, we have had great service. In fact, if you rely on cell service for your internet, it's gonna be tough. You're gonna have to figure out, get a Canadian plan or something. It's gonna be a lot more expensive. Starlink has worked great. However, we discovered that the further north you go, the more trouble you have with Starlink. You'll have it drop out, you'll have slower speeds. We think that might be because there's fewer satellites further north. Not exactly sure, but that was just our experience. The further north we went, it got a little more iffy.
We opted not to get a Canadian plan since we do have Starlink, and we checked with Verizon. That's the service that we use because they technically don't have Verizon cell towers in Canada, but they rent out cell towers so that Verizon users coming from the States can actually use them. However, even though it's free, we only got like 2 gigabytes of high-speed data, and once we went through that, then it knocked us down to 3G. So we kind of have to be careful if we're surfing the internet on our phones, which is why, again, we have Starlink, so we don't have to worry about that.
One thing that is the same, whether you're boondocking through the US or Canada, is that not everyone is considerate. And so if you get to a boondocking spot and you see trash lying around, just pick it up, because I know boondocking spots in the US are going away. I can only assume that they're going away in Canada because of people that leave trash. So pick up your trash.
We have a lot of trash.
Yeah, well, 3 of these bags, these 3 bags are ours. This is the boondocking spot trash. But yeah, we need to find a dumpster. I'm hoping there's one at the dump station.
There we go. I love that sound. You want to give those trailer brakes a test just to make sure we're good?
You know what? Since I installed them, we probably should.
Probably a good idea.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so start it going.
Yep, here we go.
Oh no, a squirrel ran into the road. You missed him.
Are you? I was like, what?
You
I'm going
legit.
2 miles an hour.
I was making sure you couldn't miss him if there were a squirrel.
Yep, I stopped. I just want to go out and make sure there's not a squirrel carcass. Honestly though, checking the brakes before we went on travel day is not something I did all the time before, but now that I installed, it's twofold. Because I installed it myself and I have a confidence issue, I'm now always testing the brakes. But secondly, you should always test your brakes anyways just to make sure they work, and I didn't realize how bad my brakes were before. But speaking of confidence, when it comes to installing stuff, like when I installed our solar thing, I was on YouTube for hours. Caitlin can vouch for the fact that I would do one step, come back in, search for 7 videos, trying to find the answer to my question. And when I did the brakes, one of the things that eTrailer does, and I'm so grateful that they partnered with us on this video and on that brake project, was they have videos on their website that show the product that you are buying being installed on a similar trailer. And it was just so helpful that I just had one video I had to go to look at whenever I had any questions. Oh, my wires look good.
It stopped really fast. You avoided a fake squirrel.
You got me. You got me fair and square. And here's the other thing with eTrailer. If you have any questions throughout the whole process, whether it's during the buying process or the install process, they have experts in their customer service that you can chat with online to find the right answer to your question.
Basically, if you need any part at all for your trailer, consider eTrailer, because it comes with those tutorial videos we were talking about, the experts if you have any questions, and they're gonna make sure that you do right by your rig. So we're gonna leave a link to their website in the description below, and we'll also have a QR code here on the screen.
We've got 165 kilometers to go
to our dump station.
To get to our dump station. Gotta dump all the junk out of the trunk, put in some fresh water. When we did that brake video, a lot of you reached out in the comments, and I so appreciate this, and they're like, did you burnish your brakes? You really need to burnish your drum brakes. And we did actually do it. And I have to thank Craig because he was aware, hey, you need to burnish those brakes. And burnishing is basically heating your drum brakes up. You're just gonna go down a hill or get to a certain speed, and you're going to press your trailer brakes and only your trailer brakes and get them heated. And you're gonna do that at various intervals. If you search the internet, there's gonna be about 20 different people telling you 20 different ways to do it. find the one you're comfortable with. I found it helpful to have Craig behind me because my brakes got hot enough to smoke, so it was good to have somebody back there being like, hey, your brakes are smoking. But yeah, the brakes were a little, like when I first installed them, I was like, man, they're not as good as I thought they would be. But after burnishing the brakes, like they are like top notch. They work really, really well.
Hey, I spot a dumpster. We need one of those.
I do, I just don't spot the dump station.
Anything?
Nothing. The thing is they have signs.
So did you find another one? Here,
little bit of a
I'll mess
pain.
with it.
Okay. Look what we just
I see
found.
a little dump over there. Let's hope this works. Drinking water. Come on. Do I push down? It's not doing anything. Did they shut everything off?
I think so.
And now there's a train blocking the road.
Let's just play the game of how much time can we add to travel day.
We're losing.
I have struck out when it comes to the dump stations for today. So Kaylin, you pulled up what, Overlander?
I pulled up by Overlander to find something that's like in the town before the Walmart that we're staying in tonight. So we'll just head that direction, but I do feel like we need to pull off to just do lunch because I'm starving.
Oh yeah. All right, we'll keep our eyes open for a rest stop.
I guess this is a good place now that we found a rest area to talk about Canadian rest areas versus United States rest areas, because there is a bit of a difference. Now, you won't typically have like buildings to use the bathroom, but the one thing that they have at almost every single rest area are
litter bins. While in the US, most of the rest areas are on the main interstates. In Canada, a lot of just their main 2-lane roads will have this style rest area every, I don't know, 50 kilometers or so. So it seems like every time you're like, I need to take a break, eat, get a bite to eat or something, there's a rest area.
and there's a place to throw your garbage when you're done.
Although it seems to me like some people
missed.
are having trouble. Right here, people.
Bon appetit. I just spotted a dump station on the side of the road that wasn't on a map, so we're turning around. Gonna see if it has water.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing.
That is the biggest thing, because it's pointless to dump if we can't also fill. Why take the time?
Right. So this may be strike number 3, but we're gonna see.
And then we're gonna have you all decide where we dump, because I'm striking out. We'll see if Kaylin's striking out.
We can't do it apparently. No, absolutely not. Success!
Did you see that?
I saw it, but I didn't get it.
Okay, let's do a reenactment.
Okay, hang on.
Here we go. I just threw it down.
No, you missed it. You did get it the first time. I saw it with my own eyes.
You have to believe me. So when it comes to dump stations are dump stations wherever you are. It's a hole in the ground for the sewer, and hopefully potable water somewhere. Whenever it's just one hose, it's a little risky on the water, but we don't drink from our RV anyway, so sometimes we'll risk it. Oh, one other thing with Canada. They will fine you if you use gloves at the dump station.
No, they won't. What are you doing? No! Oh no!
Oh, Trent.
She got poop on her because she went and rolled in it. No! Oh, it smells. Oh, it smells.
All right, come to the dump station, Trent.
It was slimy too. Here, I'm gonna pour some shampoo on it.
And you got a rag?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, I didn't mean
That's enough shampoo to shampoo her whole
I'm
body.
throwing out this rag after I'm done.
That's fine.
How wet are you getting?
Just my knee. You're doing good. Good girl.
Good girl.
Good girl. Rolling in the poop, not so good.
Okay, let's shake this off. Let's get dry. There you go. There you go. Now she's rolling on the dirt. What is wrong with you? Now you're all grassy.
Did she roll in poop again?
No, she's just rolling in the grass.
Oh, okay, as long as it's not in poop.
Let's go back in the truck. Found it?
Yeah. Pick up after your pets, people.
Something that I was thinking of while we were washing her, it's like usually when you hear about dump station drama, it's with people's own black tank issues.
Yep.
I'm just glad it happened here while we had a hose to spray her off with and get her all clean. We made it to Saskatchewan! I had not had it on my bucket list to have a goal of visiting all Canadian provinces, but now I kind of want to.
The thing is, with the Canadian provinces, they're all like the size
so
of Texas or
big.
bigger. Like it takes 3 days to get across it.
I know. Maybe one day.
Maybe.
What I find so interesting is the similarities between the middle area of Canada and the Midwest of the United States is literally, I mean, obviously the two countries are, you know, on top of one another, but it's just an extension of the Midwest with the fields and the hay bales and a lot of the farming areas. It's really pretty. It's not the mountains that we've been used to, you know, on the western side of the country, but it's still pretty in its own way.
And I know we're still in Canada, so I should be saying this in kilometers, but we have gone more than 2,000 miles. We're 2,044 miles of the 4,900 we have to go. We're getting close to halfway.
There's the Walmart. Home sweet home for the night.
Home sweet home. Stay. Good girl. Okay, you can go. Oh, right through the mud puddle, of course. Today we have the longest travel day of this 4,900 mile trek sitting right in front of us. We are going 470 miles. Typically we try to only go 300 miles in a day, but today we have no dump station, we have no errands, we're getting an early start, but we do have a border crossing. And for full transparency, we technically did not stay in a Walmart parking lot. We stayed in Cabela's because when we got here, we realized, well, first of all, the Walmart parking lot was absolutely packed. And second of all, this particular Walmart, you're not allowed to stay overnight, but the Cabela's you are.
Animals have been fed. You're working on getting us fed.
Yep. Are you okay? What did I do?
He ran into me. That's what happens when you have a small kitchen.
I'm sorry.
Ready to do this?
470 miles, let's go. She's out already?
Yep.
She didn't even do anything this morning.
One of the most obvious differences between the United States and Canada, especially if you're driving through it, is going to be the metric system. So everyone else is on the metric system except for us. So our cars have the mile per hour as the big number on the speedometer, and the little numbers are the kilometers per hour. So that's pretty easy, just to follow the little number and making sure that you're not looking at 110 kilometers and you're like, oh, I get to go like 110 miles. The thing that really catches me off guard though are the bridges that you go under, because those are in metric. So I already know that, okay, we are 12 feet 6 inches high. Do the calculations before you get into Canada, because then you just see like 4.8 and you start freaking out, 4.8 meters, and you're not sure how tall you are. So calculated ours, and we are 3.85. So far we haven't gone through any, like under any bridges that have been any issues. But when you first see that number, it does give you pause.
This is our last fuel
fill up in
Canada.
Why are you looking funny?
I have to pay inside. I was sitting here, I'm like, where is... It took me forever to see
Inside?
inside.
I know we said yesterday how sometimes the gasoline handles are green, which is confusing when you usually get diesel out of green and they're yellow. This one is red. I have not seen that one before. Ow! Ouch!
That is a
hurt.
concrete
Look
filled
It is
Oh, and a spike.
so pokey. It poked into my ankle. Your cameraman is having issues. Do you realize that 9:30, sometimes we're not even leaving by now till
9 to 10, yep.
And we've been over 100 miles so far. So I'm feeling pretty proud of us.
I'm feeling
right
great.
Now. We're 100 kilometers from the border. Less than now?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So we gotta do our Canadian snacks while we're actually still in Canada.
That's a big bag.
We got a lot of stuff. You guys came through for us on the community post.
And I have a feeling I'm gonna be sick when we get into the US.
So there's also a lot that I can't have. So when we first did this segment, we strategically picked a lot of dairy-free items because it just messes my stomach up. But Joseph's gonna take one for the team and do all the dairy. So,
although I feel like that's not taking one for the team because I feel like all the ones that I'm gonna get to eat are actually like really sweet and good.
So let's start with the famed ketchup chips, Lay's brand.
Yes, we were told it had to be Lay's or Miss Vicky's.
It doesn't smell as bad as the Crispers.
It smells like ketchup. They're not as red. Nope. 3 out of 10.
That's worse.
It's worse?
That's worse than Crispers.
I'll give it one better, but 3 out of 10.
Hang on, I gotta drink water.
Craig and Victoria, if you were watching, we're gonna send you the rest of those.
Oh, I can't get that taste out of my mouth. Someone recommended No Name chips to us, which I didn't realize was a brand.
You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. 5 out of 10.
It does taste a little different.
It does.
But I'm a Cape Cod kettle chip girl.
Yeah.
Okay, what else can I have in here? Oh,
the
wine gums.
Or I'm trying orange, I got
red.
There's a weird taste.
There's something very weird
There's
about
a weird taste.
Almost medicinal, in a way. Wouldn't you say?
Actually, very.
Very medicinal?
Yep.
Rockets candy. These are what we call Smarties. These are the ones.
Give me a couple more. I'm not going to be able to.
These are the ones where I just kind of, you suck on them until you're...
You suck on these?
Yeah.
Oh, I can chew them up.
And then your tongue gets a little raw. Good.
Yep.
I haven't had those in years and years. Okay, everything else...
Everything else is me?
I think is you. So we're going to try to do this quickly.
Okay, Hawkins cheesies first.
Okay. How do they compare
I agree with
the Cheetos?
I agree with you, Canada. Better than Cheetos, unless you like the texture of a Cheeto.
Well, this is an Aero bar. It's fluffy.
Oh, that's really good, actually.
A dark toffee peanut chew. So just take a bite of it.
What's it called?
Eat more.
If you like toffee, it's probably good.
You ready for the Smarties?
Yes, totally.
Okay, these are our M&Ms.
Ooh, they have different colors.
Oh, I like the blue color.
And they've
That's
got
a light,
they've got a light blue, they've got
light
a pink.
It's supposed to be better than M&Ms.
I'll take M&Ms over the Smarties.
Wow, okay. So this one, we don't have high hopes
Y'all are
for.
lying. I guarantee.
They say coffee crisp doesn't taste like coffee. It smells like coffee. Guys, it smells like coffee. You might struggle with that one like I struggle with the ketchup chip.
Oh, coffee.
What are you barking at?
They lied. They lied, Trin. Hang on. Okay. Tastes like coffee right off the bat. Stop saying it doesn't taste like coffee.
I don't know why they're called digestive biscuits. They look really good.
If they were on an hors d'oeuvre tray, like a dessert finger food tray, I'd grab one.
Okay, the last thing we have are these...
We're going to mispronounce it, so be prepared.
Nanimo bars.
Nanimo?
They're found in the bakery section.
Nanimo? I hope we got it right once.
Here's what we're going to do, because I only...
You're going to feed me?
Yes.
Okay. How did I know this was coming? Nobody's behind me.
Like, this is melting all over the place.
Man, this looks amazing.
Okay.
Hang on.
Can you put all of that in your mouth? Oh, sugar! I can't lick it! Hang on.
Did it get on you?
Yes!
Do I need to pull over?
There's no place to pull over.
I can pull over on the side of the road.
Okay, hang on. Let me just...
Close that up.
Close it up. Calm down. I have chocolate all over my pants. Hopefully I can get that out later. But I'm waiting to hear your words.
Well, I was waiting for you to be done with with
drama.
Your drama, and we got chocolate on here now too. I'm gonna say 7 out of 10. It was a really good dessert.
I'm surprised.
But there are other things I would eat above it.
So I guess the ones that you liked the best were the Hawkins cheesies.
That's the one I like the best, right there.
The Arrow
bar.
mints. Well, this is the last time we have access to these kinds of snacks.
Yep.
So
Canada, you can keep your coffee crisp.
You can keep your ketchup chips, but I would really like to reinstate Ruffles all dressed in the
US.
States. That would be great.
That would be fantastic.
How is the food settling?
It is not, actually. The stomach is a little off.
And you didn't even have...
I didn't.
Like, you just had little bites.
I'm blaming the coffee crisp. I don't know if it's actually the coffee crisp or if it's just the fact of trying so many different things right after, but my stomach is like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
I'm feeling fine. When it comes to border crossings, whether you're going into Canada versus going into the US, we've always thought going into Canada has been a little bit easier. Just seems, I don't know, they seem nicer. And what you basically need is, of course, passport or passport cards. We have the cards, which get us into Canada or Mexico, or by boat, not by plane, to like the Caribbean and Bermuda. Or, of course, some states allow that enhanced driver's license, which you can use as well. I've got all of Cody and Trinity's paperwork, including the new import form that we had to complete 2 days ago, I think it was. So I feel like we're all set. I don't have nerves going into this one, which means something's gonna go wrong.
And I have learned, being the one that drives and is also the one that says dumb things when he talks to the border agent, try your best just to answer the question and don't say anything more. Don't try to be funny, don't try to be silly, and learn what your wife does for work. Those are my tips.
I'll also put a link in the description to an official Canadian government website, just so you can see for yourself exactly what you need to have with you, what you need to declare, what you can and cannot take. So it's a more official sort of information than just watching a couple of YouTubers try to be experts. There it is.
Good afternoon. Just the two of us.
Where do you guys live?
In the RV.
But we're residents of Florida.
Residents of Florida.
Yeah.
All right. Coming from where?
Coming from Alaska.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
So he didn't even ask about a dog.
Can I say?
No alcohol, no firearm questions, no produce questions.
That was
probably the
easiest border crossing I have.
This is why we pick really, really small ports.
Oh my goodness.
There is, do you see that spider?
There's a spider.
Can you get it? Ooh.
I feel like we went into this with very little fanfare. We're back in the lower 48. We haven't been here since May, I think 17th.
It's been, 3 months?
Yeah.
3 whole months. Welcome home.
Yes.
United States. We have actually been to this area multiple times. This is where we're going to be boondocking. We just got into North Dakota, and it's outside a little town called Medora, and right outside Theodore Roosevelt National Park. It's got these beautiful features.
It's kind of like the Badlands.
Yeah.
And we've been here 4 times out of 5 years of travel.
This is one of our favorite spots that we love to boondock.
And it's 5:06, and after 450, 60 some odd miles, we're getting here sooner than we got to the Walmart yesterday.
Well, we left early, and we also made really good time, but it's still a long day. Like 10 out of 10 don't recommend trying to go almost 500 miles in a day when you're towing.
Some of the best boondocking spots require taking the rig up a little bit of a sketchy road, although they have repaired this since the last time we were here. All 80 gallons of water.
I know, and that's why I just can't. Like, everything's dripping, everything's wet, everything's ruined. Like,
stop it.
got the